Okay, lesson 9.9, absolute value equations. Absolute value. An absolute value, if we're going to define it in any way, shape, or form in this class, and I want to make sure that you understand this, is this right here. An absolute value number is its distance from zero. Okay? You can think of it as if you're standing right here. Here is your home. Right here, I'm going to draw it out here. And you are standing on a number line. Okay, here you are there. Here's the JC right here, so here's your school. And then here is the grocery store. Okay, each of these distances, okay, if these are on a number line, we can say that they're each, you're at 0 here, you're at -1, and then right here you'd be at -2, or sorry, 1, and then 2. Well, are you -1 distance to the school? Or -2 distance to the school? No. You are a distance of 2 miles. If you're standing here, you are a distance of 2 miles. This is what absolute value denotes. It's distance. If you were at the school and you came all the way to the store, you'd have to go 4 miles. Same thing, store to home or store to school, 4 miles. That is what absolute value does. It is the distance. Okay. Let's look at a few little definitions. These will become way more clear once we start doing some examples. If you have an absolute value and this C here, that just means a number. Okay, that's a constant. Okay, it could be anything. It could be 1, 2, 10, 4.5, doesn't matter. If you have something where it says the absolute value of x equals C, then that x is going to equal C or -C. Look at what it does up here. Remember, we can go either direction. You're standing here, you can go either way. If I had absolute value of x equals 2, well, that 2 is going to go either to -2 or it's going to go to +2. So, like I said, this will become more apparent once we start doing some examples. The next one here, this is just something you're going to have to get. You want to get the equation to this before you start trying to solve it. Okay, basically you want to get rid of everything outside of the absolute value, okay, before you start trying to change it to this. So get the absolute value by itself. Okay, so if you're going to take away anything from this first part, is get the absolute value by itself, and 2, absolute value denotes distance. All right, let's do about 3 little examples and we'll jump into the hawks. All right, going along with what our definition above said, it states that when you have the absolute value of x equals C, it's also going to be the absolute value of x equals -C. Well, looking at this one, I have absolute value of x equals 5. 5 would be your constant in this case. Well, that just means that your x is going to equal 5, or x is going to equal -5. And you can see that on a number line here. You have 5 or -5. Okay. Go down to the next one here. This one, it's already in standard form. Notice the absolute value is by itself. So all we have to do now is just solve. What I always do first, okay, on equations like this, is I rewrite it. So always rewrite. And then solve. You're going to have to solve this twice. Equals 5. Now remember, going with our equation, going with our definition above, this is not just going to be a 5. You're also going to have a 3x minus 4 equals -5. And we're going to have to solve for both. In fact, I'm going to move something down here. If you'll give me just 1 second. There we go. So, solve, just like we've done since 6th, 7th grade. We're going to get x by itself. So right now, let's move the 4 over. Let's get rid of it on one side by adding 4 here. What we do to one side, we got to do to the other side. Okay, that is going to reduce it here, and then we're going to have 3x equals 9. Then we can divide off, because we have a multiplication problem here. The way to get rid of multiplication is divide. I want to leave the x, so I'm going to divide it by 3. That reduces this down on this side. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. That is going to leave us with this equation of x equals 3. Now on the other side, let's do the equation again. We're going to add 4 to this side, then we're going to add 4 to this side. That is going to leave us with 3x equals -1. Same thing as before. We have multiplication. To get rid of multiplication, we're going to divide. That's going to reduce this off. And then we're going to, what we do to one side, we do to the other. That is going to leave us with x equals -1/3. Keep up with your negatives. I promise you that those will become the bane of your existence. I have missed many a math problem because I did not keep up with the negative symbol. All right, let's do the last one here. Let's go down to the next page. There we are. First off, what I want you to know is 1, rewrite the problem, okay? 2, notice, okay, this is not in standard form. So let's get it that way. We've got to get that guy right there by himself. So first off, rewrite. So we got 5 absolute value of 3x plus 17 minus 4. Pardon me for my, it is a horrible 4. Let me fix that. 4 equals 51. Okay, first things first, let's get rid of the 4. So we're going to add 4 to this side, add 4 to this side, and then we rewrite again. Everything's intentional. The reason I still to this day do every step on math problems is because if I mess up somewhere, I can walk my way back up the ladder and go, where did I mess up? Instead of having to redo the whole thing over again. Well, this thing still needs to get by itself. So to get by itself, we do have a multiplication here. We got 5 times this absolute value. So let's divide off 5 on this side. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Okay, on this side, it gets rid of it. This side, you're going to be left with 3x plus 17 absolute value equals 11. Now we're back in standard form. So let's let's go down here just a little bit. And now we can write our equation like as before. We got 3x plus 17 equals 11, or 3x plus 17 equals -11. Let's solve as like before. Got a 17 on this side, got a positive 17 here, so we're going to subtract off 17. We're going to do the inverse. Subtract off 17. Okay, that reduces it there. We're going to be left with 3x equals, what is it? 11 minus 6 is going to be -6. Okay, and then we could, once again, divide off the 3. Divide off the 3 because we have a multiplication here. That reduces this side down, and that is going to leave us with x equals -2 on this side. Now we got to do it again. So same song, second verse. We're going to subtract off 17 because that's the inverse of addition is subtraction. We're going to do the same thing right here. Subtract off. That's going to reduce that. Going to be left with 3x equals negative 28. Then we can divide off 3, divide off 3. Notice it reduces here. And on this side, we're going to be left with x equals negative 28 over 3. So there you go. We'll do some more in Hawks, and so just get ready. And like I said, not too hard on this homework.